What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the right side of the map, in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Grassengroom, the grooming grass man. Unless he's he could be talking about grass and groom, if you know what I mean. He could be saying that he could not. Maybe he's not talking about lawn mowing. Maybe it's something different. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Hagrit. He's got the grits because he says ha ha at no, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe this is something from his native language as well. Who knows? He never tells me anything. Thanks so much for the raiding party, AHY6UT. Go check him out on his Twitch channel the next time he's streaming. All right, game number 2. First game going the wayside of Grassengroom with some very, very strong Oranos play. Game number 2 here. What are we going to see here? So Hagrit sticking with the Zeus. Obviously, Hagrit believes this is one of his stronger gods. Hagrit is one of the few true random god players out there. This guy literally just plays random god. Like, he'll go into ladder, he'll hit random god. Now, the thing is, even if you are a random god player, you still are going to have stronger civilizations. I know I try and play all the civilizations, but I definitely have got better win rates with some civilizations than other civilizations, which it could be a comment on whether or not said civilization is strong or not, or it could be a comment on my skill level with said civilization, and I think it's the latter of the two most of the time there. So, what's going to happen in this game? We do have a very, very low hunt spawn here for both players, which means boom, boom, boom. We're going to see a very, very economic game here. Going for any sort of crazy aggro strats when you have low food is really, really tough. And it's super easy to defend against them because you don't have the food units to push through. You can't hit the heroic timings. The mythic timings don't come. And things can be really, really tough. Now, if you can get at least to the heroic age before needing to farm, and you want to do some kind of heroic age all in, it is possible. It requires the very, very snazzy usage of the market and a very big gold mine. That's what it is. So we'll see how this game's going to go. We are seeing Grassengroom eating up his food very, very fast over here. Just about out as both players still scouting around. I'm actually interested to see if there is any other hunt on the map. It looks like there is not. There's a decent amount of herdables, but that's about it. So we have literally was this the minimum hunt spawn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there was 7, maybe 8. 8 caribou? Is that correct? I mean, if it's 8, there's plenty. If it was 7, there's plenty. If there was 6, there's 500 plus, or 600 plus. Wait, yeah, that was. See, you could feasibly get a 6 caribou spawn. I think that'd be pretty brutal, though. No, that would be 900 food, wouldn't it? You have to have 7. Okay, onwards and upwards. So you have to. Okay, so we're going to be seeing Hagrit moving up onto this location, going to be getting onto his oak trees. He's only got 2 villages on the gold, and it looks like we're actually going to be seeing Hagrit going for Centaur here. Are we going to be seeing the same thing from Grassengroom? Yes, we are. This doesn't make any sense to me in the slightest. Now, the reason this makes no sense to me is because there's no way for your opponent to attack you. The only weak spot is going to be if you decide to split your wooden gold villages up. So if you leave your wooden gold villages in one location and you have your Odysseus in here, the Centaur are never going to be able to get in and harass this. So making Centaur doesn't make any sense in this map on this map. So we'll see what these guys are going to do, but they're both going for the same strategy. So I mean, what do I know? I don't really know a whole lot. So there's that. We are seeing Hagrit managing to get himself hand axe. Grassengroom, on the other hand, no upgrade, whether that's going to get himself his Jason, getting himself his Odysseus. Are we seeing a husbandry coming through anytime soon? No, we are not. Sylvan Law coming through for Grassengroom straight away. Hagrit choosing to go double Centaur at the start of the game, as Hagrit does find himself some herdables in the top side of the map. Did we talk about these relics? I don't think we did. We got the Gruknir Odin Spear, the extra 5% infantry damage. Or for the mainline infantry, that's your hoplites, that's your Ulf Shark, yada, yada, yada. And we've also got the Pelt of Argus, plus 6 unit line of sight. Oh no, we see Grassengroom falling for the oldest trick in the book here, leaving the Centaur back and waiting as Grassengroom sends his Centaur in to take a very, very early amount of damage. You probably see a bolt straight onto this Odysseus here, as we do see a bolt onto Hagrit. Wait, what? No bolt? Jeepers. That's a big mistake there from Hagrit. I thought the plan was delay Sylvanlore, bolt the opposing Odysseus, and live the dream here, but Hagrit doesn't go for that. Having a little bit of issues with his food production as well, as he's finally getting out on another villager to start this one up, as Sylvanlore just about to pop here, as the Katoskopos scouting around. We will be seeing that relic getting grabbed here for Grassengroom, as he's going to be taking that one, I would assume, back to his temple, but he might be delivering it to Hagrit. That's a very real possibility as well, as we do indeed see a stable getting thrown up by Hagrit on this position here, as the Odysseus says, shoot, and Hagrit says, okay, not time for me. But Grassengroom here, he's floating some resources. I'm not exactly sure why. He's got a lot of wood in the back. Maybe getting husbandry wouldn't be a bad idea. We do have the villagers finishing up on the chickens. Both players are actually playing this one incredibly standard here, as Hagrit does get love tapped there by the Jason, feeling a little bit sorry for himself here, as the Centaur does manage to take down the Katoskopos over here. We do have a Centaur on this location for Grassengroom, but there's a wall saying, not today, son, not today. And Grassengroom going to be retreating away from here. Now we will be seeing Hagrit. He will be getting onto these villages on this location. We have seen that Grassengroom has not defended his base very well at all. So going to be drawing first blood here. One villager lost. Not the end of the world, because Grassengroom's actually... oh no, Hagrit just somehow magically created 2 villages there. Or I misread it. I don't know. Don't ask me. Sometimes the UI over here is not the greatest. But, you know, what can you do? Hagrit now going to be bringing his Centaur back. This low HP Centaur is kind of getting away with murder here, as the Centaurs will be looking forward. They will see the heroes over here, and will Hagrit be paying? No, he's going to lose that Centaur for sure, and he might also lose the other one. No, he gets away. No problems there, and Grassengroom dropping his first or the second Town Center super early here, as we see Grassengroom getting very, very aggressive, though, onto this location here. We've already got ourselves 2 Centaur. We've got the Jason over here, as he does drop through the tower. And the Centaur going to be moving forward onto this location here to try and take down the enemy Centaur. We'll see, will Grassengroom be able to stay alive here? I don't think he will. We see the Centaur dodging the final arrow, but Hagrit loses another Centaur. Beautiful micro by Grassengroom, as Hagrit has to pull back here. Hagrit does have the villager lead right now, but he's going to be... making himself just a little bit of a difficult challenge here, as we do see the Centaur coming in onto the front here, picking off one villager, going after some more, as Hagrit's not paying attention. Grassengroom is all over Hagrit right now, but things can go very south very fast, as the villagers, we do see one going down. The Odysseus gets kind of a snipe or something onto that Centaur of Grassengroom's, and Grassengroom going to have to get out of here, as the watchtowers are up. Those villagers have retreated into the tower, but Grassengroom not paying attention. The multi-raid was a beautiful idea, but losing Centaur is not something that I can advise here, as Grassengroom does get out, loses 1 Centaur for the cost of admission there, but he gets some damage done, and Grassengroom is 2 town centers here. So there is that going for him, as we will be seeing the Jason retreating back. 1 HP left on said Jason. Might get taken down by the Odysseus here if he's fast enough, but he does kind of strut around like he owns the place, so a little bit slow. If you put a little bit more pep in his step and kind of took it more seriously, he might be able to catch up, but he's not quite got that. Though we will be seeing the Jason still retreating, almost losing said Jason. Oh, the arrow just misses. But the Centaur do get in onto this position, hitting a villager there as Grassengroom Centaur coming in. Going to get a little bit of damage there onto Hagrit's Centaur with that special. Not able to quite kill us. And I believe you need 4 of them. 4 specials kill 1 polemark, Centaur polemark. As Grassengroom retreating back. He's got plenty of wood in the bank. Going to be able to spam those farms out. Spam those farms out. And we will be seeing a Centaur falling as both players keeping their enemy numbers down here, as Hagrit has fallen behind on the villager count, but it's got plenty of food in the bank. Lots of wood to make the farms. And we'll see how that's all going to go. Grassengroom trying to collect his position over here. I do think that a wall kind of here would have made a little bit more sense. Or even at the edge of the forest here. And then a wall over here. And then a wall over here. Or if he wants this wall here is fine. But this one doesn't make a whole lot of sense. As we do see the Centaurs running straight past each other. We will be seeing Grassengroom getting the kill. Still taking the damage. But he does retreat back. Population situation is in favor of Grassengroom. He's got a 5 villager lead. And really this all comes down to whether or not Grassengroom can get any sort of advantage with a 5 villager lead. As both players have done the exact same strategy here. Really all of this comes down to is the small advantages and trying to capitalize on them. As Hagrit's going to be throwing his farms up. Let's check out the economic upgrades. We've got husbandry. We've got no plow just yet, but I'm sure plow is going to be on the way very, very shortly here. As Hagrit wandering up to the top side of the map. And the Centaur are going to be swinging around the bottom here. Going to be looking to try and get through this gate that he knows is here. But I think maybe he thinks maybe on this wood line. There's a time at which that might be the case. But there's a beautiful wood line at the back over here that Hagrit can safely mine from. As we're seeing this similar strategy from last game that Hagrit's trying to employ, whereby he's running those Centaur polemarker around with the Hippocon. And now I get that in a way because like he needs this, he wants the Odysseus to counter the enemy Centaur. But now we do see some cavalry coming through for Hagrit as he wants to put some good pressure onto his opponent. Hagrit's already been onto this woodline once in this game, so Grassengroom kind of playing with fire by allowing this yet again. No walls over here, no mini walls onto this location either, as the villagers are starting to fall. They're going to be trying to break for that tower. They've got this woodline over here that they could jump on, as that one villager kill will give a little bit of a closure to that gap in villager production here. Hagrit's got 46 villagers. Grassengroom's on 48 as the Centaur numbers are still starting to arise. And what makes sense now for Grassengroom is to just get watchtowers and just go heroic age, because he sees the Hippocon, and the fact that your opponent has built this many Hippocon means I can just get watchtowers and I can just defend and go next age. No problem. 300 resources for those towers, and that's enough to scare off those Hippocon for quite some time, as we are seeing the Odysseus getting sniped down, though. That's a little bit dangerous here for Grassengroom, as the Jason trying to go after those Centaur pole marks. And the problem here is that Grassengroom isn't getting his towers, so there's no real safety net here for Grassengroom, though he's able to take down a couple of Centaur pretty nicely here, though, as one does end up falling for or two end up falling. One ends up falling for Hagrit. Grassengroom retreating back. Lots of units over here. Might be looking to hit this location, as Grassengroom about to be advancing to the next age here. As a villager will probably fall here for Grassengroom as well, as he's about to get brought down to even villager numbers. As does Grassengroom have his armory? Oh, he's forgotten the armory. He definitely was trying to get to the heroic age, but didn't realize no armory means no heroic age. As the Jason is out now, Hippocon does end up going down, as the Micro is afoot, attempting to keep himself alive. Do we have some Centaur coming out? Yeah, they're still on auto queues. So, I mean, Grassengroom, he could have had watchtowers. He could have been very, very safe here. But right now, Hagrit is all over him. I get some more villager kills over here. This villager almost does fall right now. 2 HP remaining. He's on the wood line, getting some significant damage done to Grassengroom. So Hagrit's putting some good pressure on. The problems here is that Hagrit's running out of gold, and he's very, very, very far behind in terms of tech, but he's got a huge army, so maybe it doesn't matter. as Grassengroom's gold mine is going to be expiring fairly soon here, but maybe that doesn't matter either because he can just jump all onto wood and make some manticore or something to hold, and then come onto this gold mine over here with a fortress or something. He's going to throw the market down anyways, but throw the market down and then buy some gold, sell some food, get some gold, build a fortress there, and be okay. But we'll see how it's all going to continue. Apollo was got a choice for Grassengroom, which does make the most sense here, as we are seeing stable coming up, a wall trying to come up over on this position as Hagrit's going to push through. The villagers do make a break for the tower, not going to be losing those here, as Hagrit's villager numbers are starting to pull away from Grassengroom, as he's what is that? 6 villagers in front. A couple of those centaur do fall. Manticore is out. And now you can actually go in with, if you want, you can actually go in with Prodromus to counter these Hippocon pretty hard. There was a pretty recent game here. We're seeing the market coming down for Grassengroom, so this does make sense. But we did see a pretty recent game of like Skirmishes playing against someone strong. I can't remember exactly who it was, but he kind of baited out the Hippocon, went heroic age, spammed Prodromus, and the Hippocon were useless. And he didn't even overdo it on the Prodromus. He just made enough to kind of kill the opposing, to get value on the opposing Hippocon, and then he can kind of go into hoplites. As we are seeing Hagrit revisiting this wood line over here, going to be going for the town center. The big problem here is that Grassengroom's got ceasefire, so he might want to be using that as Hephaestus is going to be coming through here as these villagers are getting caught out. And Grassengroom makes a retreat for the town center, but there's not going to be enough room for this. It would be very, very much in his best interest to ceasefire at this point because he's advancing to the next stage. He needs to get units out. He is making those Prodromus, and he definitely 100% wants those farms to be getting gathered from at this point. So not going onto those farms seems to be a bit of a mistake here. As Hagrit going to be pushing through, going to be taking some damage. That Nemean line just did splash damage onto every single one of those Hippocon here. Absolutely brutal. So we are seeing a little bit of micro over here. The heroes coming in on the back side for Hagrit, jumping onto that Manticore, getting some big damage done. Now, if Grassengroom can get to the, well, he's going to get to the Mythic Age, but if he can get out a Bellerophon incredibly fast here in order to take down those centaur, he's going to be very, very happy. We see the stable coming up. We do have the third town center up for Hagrit, and there's the ceasefire from Grassengroom. I would say this is very, very late from Grassengroom. His village is still idle in this town center even after those units had retreated away. Grassengroom needs his units back to work. Currently, Hagrit's already nearly 20 villages in front of Grassengroom, but then you add the 22 villages in front, and Hagrit just had about a minute there, I would say, of having 40 villager advantage on Grassengroom. So the economic difference is going to be gigantic here. Now, all that being said, Grassengroom will have plenty of ults to throw down straight away. So he's actually going to be at 70 villages here in a real, in reality. So he's not as far behind on villager count. And he gets his Colossus out. He should be thinking about throwing down barracks here and going into hoplites. Sticking in with cavalry makes very, very little sense, as we are seeing the armories getting thrown down. A fortress on this position going to get shot up as fast as we possibly can. Do we see a Bellerophon coming out on either of these town centers? Not just yet. As right now, Grassengroom just waiting for his 35 favor to get himself the Forge of Olympus, but Apollo on the way for Hagrit. So the timing that Grassengroom has right now is incredibly small. Hagrit's going to get Mythic Age within the next 2.5 minutes, I would say. And Grassengroom hasn't even started himself Forge of Olympus just yet. And that being the case, no Forge of Olympus, it takes 1 minute to train. Every single one of those upgrades takes 1 minute. So if Grassengroom gets to full iron, there's a chance that Hagrit will be at full iron maybe 2 minutes behind him. So not a lot of time here for Grassengroom to get going, and he still hasn't even started researching Forge of Olympus. So in a big problem here as the Pegasus does come through. And the other thing that's a issue now for Grassengroom is that Hagrit has ceasefire. So his underworld isn't going to be that useful either, as units are still getting produced here. We still haven't seen the Forge of Olympus getting... There we go. Super late Forge of Olympus here, as Hagrit's actually deciding to not go straight to the Mythic Age. So maybe some extra timing here, some gracious timings being given to to Grassengroom by Hagrit, as Boit Quarry Irrigation getting research for the economy, as a market is getting thrown up in the corner of the map here. There's no problems with that, as we are going to be seeing Hagrit attempting to control this location. The town center getting grabbed over here, as there is a Heliopolis. A couple of Heliopolis in on this location, as Grassengroom is trying to make the transition into Hoplite Heliopolis work, which is an incredibly strong unit composition. Skipping out on those Toxotes really does help. You see that we already have like 150 resources spent, which Grassengroom's not going to need to spend here. I see a couple of villages getting taken out, but the problem here is that Grassengroom's not spending his resources. He's got tons in the bank, and he's not getting those armor upgrades. Everything is coming in slow. Hephaestus now coming through for Hagrit, as we've finally got copper weapons coming in. So 2-minute advantage-ish looks like it's going to be the max for Grassengroom's army here, as his units trying to fight this one off. The village is going to grab this town center, and remember, there is ceasefire, and if Hagrit wants to use ceasefire, he can use it here. Hagrit's going to be losing a lot of units here to the superior army quality that Grassengroom's got with those 2 Heliopoli. We will be seeing the settlement getting targeted down as well, but again, Grassengroom not spending his resources, getting a couple of hoplites out here. Copper weapons, mail, and shields has come through for Grassengroom. He doesn't quite have the gold now to be making more. He's got tons of food in the bank, as more Heliopoli are coming through for Grassengroom, as he's making a very, very strong push. But now the ceasefire for Hagrit comes in. That's going to be 4 town centers for Hagrit. So what Grassengroom should do here is get fortified town centers and just build the strongest possible army he can, because Hagrit is going to be behind the 8 ball on armor. So all Grassengroom needs is to get army quality here and get as much population as he can. So fortified town centers up to 140 pop. Even if Hagrit gets to 160, if we can get up to even heavy infantry, bronze armor, I don't think that Hagrit's going to really be able to chase that too easily, given he needs to fill up this population in this town center. So we'll see how this is going to go. The other option here for Grassengroom is to simply just underworld into the main base of Hagrit, which it looks like he's looking to do over here, as the Pegasus is in here. But remember that a underworld can be met by an underworld, as bronze weapons, bronze mails, iron shields coming through for Grassengroom. It might be worth it to wait on those upgrades, as we are going to be seeing Grassengroom retreating back here. I'm not sure I like this move here from Grassengroom, knowing his opponent has got underworld, as the units trying to get into this underworld passage, both players dropping their underworlds next to each other. Have the Heliopolis kill the opposing underworld and then retreat. Kill the opposing underworld, retreat, push forward. That's all he has to do. Is that what he's going for? He's targeting down the units as best as he can right now. Looks like he's going after the buildings. We do see the Heliopolis now targeting down the underworld there of Hagrit, and that's going to be enough here to put some real strong pressure onto the front of this base, as the underworld does get taken down. Grassengroom makes the incredibly strong strategic move there to dart out of here. The underworld will fall for Grassengroom, but now Grassengroom can target down the forward town center of Hagrit. Hagrit is getting himself architects, but he does not have the time right now to hold onto this town center, as the Heliopolis push through. The town center is going to get torn to the ground, and Hagrit is at 160 population, but Grassengroom's at 140. Grassengroom did get himself that fortified town centers. The village is pushing forward for Grassengroom. He is short a little bit of resources right now, but getting iron mail, how are those upgrades looking? He's just going to be missing the iron weapons here. If we take a look at what Hagrit's got, he's got no upgrades right now. The town center on the way, and Grassengroom's strategy here is pulling his ability to get back into this game after everything that's kind of happened thus far has been absolutely flawless here. We are even seeing a little bit of cheeky micro here from Grassengroom. You can see if you garrison units into the Heliopoli, they do get bonus damage, though I believe Zeus hoplites would be better off actually fighting than giving the Heliopoli bonus damage, as Grassengroom does clean up that Colossus over here. We see the hoplites coming in on the bottom location here, preventing this town center from coming up, as the Heliopoli trying to continue taking this one out. Iron weapons now coming through for Grassengroom. Grassengroom is also going to be able to get himself champion infantry very, very soon, as those Heliopoli are able able to push those Toxotes back here. We'll see if Grassengroom's going to be able to hold this location as a fortress is going to get dropped onto this settlement here. We've got bronze weapons, bronze mail, champion archers coming through for Hagrit as well here, as the Heliopoli are still all standing very, very strong in this game, as those Toxotes are being made to look incredibly silly right now, but still Grassengroom hasn't managed to get himself this town center. We still don't see that champion infantry, which would come a very, very long way in helping Grassengroom's conquest to securing this town center. Hagrit's at 130 population right now, so population differential doesn't matter. The fact that Hagrit's got 3 town centers doesn't matter here, as we do see a side build coming in for Grassengroom, going to be dropping a wall over here as well, as the Toxotes are out, but it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't really matter. These Heliopolis are just going to do tons of damage. They'll even get that kind of, what do you call it, bonus of having burning pitch, the scariness of burning pitch coming through as the fortress does come in. The Bellerophon over here will get sniped down. Hagrit's at 133 of 160 population. Champion infantry finally coming through for Grassengroom as he's going to continue to push in. He's got himself 5 Heliopoli here compared to Hagrit's 0 Heliopoli. So he's going to continue rolling forward in this game as the town center is going to be just about to come up for Grassengroom. Hagrit's at 160 pop. Grassengroom will too be able to get to 160 population. The question here is going to be, can Grassengroom's economy right now support these town centers with this expensive army that he has made? He's got himself 6 Heliopoli. If he loses the Heliopoli in quick succession, things can go downhill very, very fast for Grassengroom. But right now, we're getting ourselves into a fairly even game. We see the walls down. They're going to get shanked down by the villagers, as we don't have ourselves fortified walls just yet. The Heliopoli moving forward. Hippocon even getting trained out here. As the hoplites are on top of these Heliopoli, you do need to do something in order to protect those, as Grassengroom pushing forward without having full population, but he's still seemingly pushing in, and Hagrit, he's almost got full upgrade, still not full iron, so those Toxotes are going to get taken down very fast. The big thing about this is that Hagrit's Toxotes need to micro. If you get a Heliopoli in front of those Toxotes, you can actually not do much damage at all, as those Heliopoli have got 95% pierce armor. But right now, Grassengroom continuing to push in. He is making himself some Hypaspist here, which I think is a little bit of a mistake, considering they don't do any damage against the Toxotes. And I mean, I guess the bulk of the damage can come through from those Heliopoli here, but we will be seeing Grassengroom retreating away. The walls continuing to come up on this backside, but it does look like Hagrit has managed to defend the big timings that Grassengroom has had somewhat. We're coming into what looks to be a fairly equal late game here for these players. However, Hagrit's up on the top corner of the map, going for a side build. The Heliopoli doing some good amounts of damage here as well, trying to push in and take the Toxotes out and make some real big noise here. I still don't like the Hypaspist. I think that just go hoplites, you get more pierce armor, or you get a little bit more pierce armor, you get a lot more HP, and you just allow those Heliopoli to do what those Heliopoli need to do. Though I do understand the desire to kill off the heavy hoplites really, really fast with Hypaspist to keep those Heliopoli alive. As Grassengroom pushing in onto the fortress right now, we're seeing Oracle come through for Hagrit as well. If we take a look at what Hagrit's line of sight is about to become, it's going to go, because it's actually a really, really strong technology here. As where is it? It's at 85%. And there it goes. Boom. Big amounts of line of sight here for Hagrit, as he's going to be able to see everything he wants to see, as a handful of units will come through and take down this side build. The walls that have been set up here for Grassengroom have mostly been shut down, but Grassengroom's army, his army quality is just too good right now. For some reason, yeah, that's why. I've got this feeling that Hagrit's economy is just better than Grassengroom's right now. And that's because he's got himself 18 donkey caravans, which is a big thing. But his army quality is awful. So everything that is holding Hagrit up right now should have been should have been, it's just the donkey caravan. So really what Grassengroom should have been doing here is getting himself his own trade right now, as you do see some villagers coming into the corner of the map. A handful of units going to come in and take down these military academies over here as Grassengroom still continuing to push in. I'd love to see some buildings getting put up on the back of this as the prodromus are coming down. You do have to be careful against prodromus. Prodromus are the main counter that Greeks do have against siege. So you cannot be retreating away from your opponent and allowing him to damage these Heliopoli with those prodromus. This is 9 damage prodromus. They get 150% bonus damage versus siege. So they're doing something in the vicinity of like 23 damage or something like this. And that's like 5% hack armor as well. So you do have to make sure you leave your units in. You basically, with it's very similar to the Blitzkrieg, you don't retreat. And if you're going for it, you go for it when you're going with the Blitzkrieg strategy here. The Grassengroom is trying to implement, as we do see the units coming out from Hagrit getting taken down very fast. Champion infantry about to pop now for Hagrit, as well as Grassengroom is kind of realizing that his army is still pretty dang strong on this position here. But the Bellerophon is in. He's going to be a bit of a nuisance here for Grassengroom. Oh, now we're seeing the Toxotes come in. I mean, there's no upgrades for them, so why build them? They're just sitting here with 8.45 damage compared to 10.4 damage, and it's just, you've got Heliopoli. The Heliopoli still doing more damage, technically, than those Toxotes. I mean, they do have 5 population, but what is it? I do this math. It's 18 damage per second with the things, and I do hear that there's a little bit of a murmur whenever I say this. That one of the projectiles normally misses. Yeah, but if you focus in down a ball of units, that projectile will hit a different unit. So you're doing like splash damage in a way. As the hoplites continuing to push in, as we have a little bit of a wall shenanigans starting, preventing this trade route from really functioning over here. Is Grassengroom going to get up some walls over here and maybe start his own trade route? Still not starting his trade route does give me a little bit of like a big hope for Hagrit here, because Hagrit right now, 72 villages, 26 donkey caravans, huge economy, huge economic advantage over Grassengroom's. Grassengroom's only got the 76 villages. We're seeing buildings getting thrown up all over the place. These donkey caravans might actually get taken out here, as we see a hoplite trying to break through this location here, but the villagers are going to be putting a stop to that. Would love to see fortified walls or stone walls particularly coming through, but Grassengroom going to be retreating back here yet again, as he's I don't think he fully understands how strong his army is. You just don't need to retreat. Don't retreat ever. Maybe stop building Heliopoli at a certain point. 6 is a lot. You don't want to go too many on Heliopoli, because they're going to be able to get run over by a whole bunch of infantry or cavalry. So just get enough that it's scary and then stop building them. We've seen Weapons of the Titans come through for Hagrit. Bit of an interesting pickup there, and Carpenters. The reason why it's interesting is that there's no real point in building Myrmidon against Greek, because they don't get a bonus against Greek units. So the only point in the Myrmidon would be some incredibly strong building killers. So there might be some attempt here from Hagrit to go for a side raid with those Myrmidon, similar to how someone might raid with the Tyroi or something like this, as Grassengroom's got like six Heliopoli to slow him down. Very, very immobile army, as it were. As we do see these donkey caravans are managing to get through this wall. A little bit lucky here for Hagrid to keep those alive, but Grassengroom has put a stop to that trade route for quite some time. So Hagrid's army is definitely struggling here in a big way, as Grassengroom is going to be pulling back. Oh no. And there's the actual real problem that's happening in this game that I don't think I didn't notice it, but if we take a quick look over at Hagrid's economy, all the upgrades. What's Grassengroom forgotten? Economic upgrades in this game, as he does not have irrigation or flood control. Not having irrigation is unforgivable, but even more unforgivable at this point in the game when you need so much wood is not having bowsaw. For the Greek civilization, bowsaw is akin to getting shaft mine for the Egyptians, as it just gives such a huge boost to your wood economy that, like, sometimes it's just, if you're gonna get hand axe, you probably should get bowsaw after it. That's how big the upgrade tends to be for the Greeks. The only time when you might want to delay the bowsaw is if you got hand axe, but you want to go heroic age. That would be the only time, but even then, you probably shouldn't have got hand axe in that situation, I guess, is the general rule. We do have a little bit of chitter-chatter in the chat about these players both being in the Mythic Age through Hephaestus, which is true, and neither of them yet using Colossus, as we are now starting to see Colossus coming out for Grassengroom. He has one. We do have the market up. Still no trade route started for Grassengroom, which, again, I'm scratching my head, and the little amount of hair that I have is falling out, because if you don't build a trade route, you're going to run out of gold, and you're going to be sad. 2,000, 3,000 gold here. We've got ourselves 6,000 gold over here. And only 450 gold on this position, but 80 villages isn't that many compared to 110 villages, basically, that Hagrit's got. But then again, Hagrit can't really push forward. He is trying to build towers on this position over here, where they're getting pushed, they're getting prevented by the Heliopoli fairly nicely. We're now starting to see some Toxotes coming in for Grassengroom to get a little bit more DPS in onto this army. The Colossus gonna come over here and try and eat the tree and stay alive, but the Heracles says no, not today. And Hagrit says, yep, it's time to bring my own Colossus into the fight. And the thing here is that Grassengroom did make a big push here before. There's no reason why he shouldn't be pushing through this location as well. You can just throw up a fortress over here, and you are seeing some villagers moving forward, but you can just throw up some buildings in this position and start coming through this corner here and start making your way to the main base. But I guess what Grassengroom is going to be most concerned about, as Hagrit seems to be making some good progress here, as he's going after this town center. But this is the weakness right now for Grassengroom, is this forest. If Hagrit can secure this location, which it looks like he's trying to do here, it's not game over for Grassengroom, but things are going to be really, really tough. Once Petropolis start coming out, hitting this town center, Grassengroom's going to be in for a very, very difficult time here, as more units are pushing through. We are still seeing the Heliopoli, I should say, getting trained. And we have Hagrit over here with the Silver Colossus, trying to take down buildings and prevent the trade route of Grassengroom from working, as we do see the Heliopoli pushing in to take down the fortress over here. The fortress will fall, as the Toxotes going after the hoplites, doing everything that they can. Grassengroom's Heliopoli on this position is going to get taken down pretty fast as well, but looks like the villagers are getting caught out, and Grassengroom is going to manage to hold this position here for the time being, it would seem. Hagrit, though, lots of resources in the bank. What is he planning with those resources is the big question. He's still training units. He just doesn't have the, I guess maybe it's just he doesn't have the production facilities here. He's got some buildings in his base. Getting himself some Colossus wouldn't be a bad idea. We might be seeing Hagrit dropping a wonder here. Is that a rare possibility? A wonder? As he's maybe feeling like he's not going to be able to push through Grassengroom, as now Grassengroom's trade route is starting. Coinage coming through. Bowsaw finally coming through. It's going to be helping out Grassengroom's wood economy quite a lot here, as the Bellerophon will be jumping in, and Heliopoli rolling in, trying to take down the enemy fortress here, as the villagers going to come through and start taking down the Heliopoli of Grassengroom. We still have to be careful about this. This is the big weakness of Heliopoli. Are villagers, though they do take a long time to kill off the Heliopoli because they have so much dang HP, but you do have to focus those down, otherwise they're just getting free kills here. But the fortress will be falling. We see tax collectors, fortified walls coming through for Hagrit. As the fortress will be falling here. Silver Colossus coming up to the top corner of the map. We will be seeing Bellerophon getting taken down. Hagrit trying to throw up that fortress on this position yet again, as he does manage to get himself back up to full population. And now what Hagrit can do, because he's got himself 28 donkey caravans, he's got tons of resources in the bank, he can start sacrificing villagers on the front to get these buildings up, as we do see Grassengroom trying to utilize his Bellerophon to get in here and take some villagers down. But it looks like Hagrit is going to be able to hold this position here. Look at that Bellerophon micro duking out the Toxotes very, very nicely here. As the Bellerophon does fly in, picks up a couple more villagers. Here we've got 5 villagers on this position, but they will mostly survive and get that that fortress up, I would assume here. As see the Heliopoli still holding strong, but Grassengroom's economy struggling just a little bit here. He does decide to build a Petropolis to get in onto this position. Hagrit's going to be building his own Petropolis to take this out. I like this one though from Grassengroom, because it's going to be able to take down the enemy fortress here. But do we see? We still don't see. Whoop, we do have a Silver Colossus going after this town center, but that's going to get easily dealt with by the Jason, and a little bit of help from the Odysseus, but mostly the Jason getting some good damage done there. And we still haven't seen much of an attempt here from Grassengroom to get onto this position. We see Hagrit moving forward to throw some walls up over here and reclaim that bottom location here. As now we see the Metropolis trying to get onto that fortress, but not going to be able to. Hagrit rolling up to the top location here. His Metropolis doesn't have engineers, so it's only got a 28 range opposed to 30 range. But it's going to be plenty to get onto this town center, I would assume. The Grassengroom gets his Bellerophon back out. Could use that to take the Metropolis down very easily here. As Heliopolis going to continue to try and push in here. Some more walls coming up now for Hagrit, as now we see some villagers moving in. They're finally thinking about bottom side of the map. Grassengroom's also got a wall here, so we can actually take all of this location here as well and start moving up to the top. We are seeing these villagers try to chop down this wood. It would be funny if that was a weakness there for Grassengroom in the hyper late game, as we do see the Bellerophon managing to take down 2 of those Petropoli here, but Hagrit's just got so many resources. Definitely too many here. You could definitely consider sacrificing some villagers, some more villagers. He's at 64. So he gets up this extra fortress over here. The Bellerophon about to get taken down. Do we have crenellations? Yes, we do. As the Petropolis are back onto Grassengroom's town center. If Grassengroom loses this town center, it could be everything right now for him. As if he loses it, he doesn't have a population to continue. Hagrit is continuously dropping down below 130 pop here. I'm not sure if he's kind of just building units manually or what's happening, or if he just loses everything incredibly fast. As the Heliopoli are trying to roll in here, the town center getting low on HP. The Heliopoli able to focus down that fortress on the other side of the forest here, but the hoplites are in to get some good damage done. More Heliopoli are going to be able to roll in, take down this fortress, and this seemingly very, very tough to stop push from Hagrit has been denied, but it's not over just yet. Hagrit's still got units here. He's going to be able to clean these Heliopoli out, and then Grassengroom's population will yet again plummet. And maybe the fortress can get thrown back up here, as we still see this lone Petropolis still getting some good damage done onto the town center. There's only 5 villagers on this town center, as right now Grassengroom might want to consider taking this one out, but not happening just yet, as we do see the hoplites moving in onto this position over here. Fortress just about to come up. Still a little bit slow on that one there, but Only 4 villagers here. You can get those up really, really quickly at this point if you send a lot of villagers in. But now we do see Grassengroom coming in onto this corner to throw a fortress up. But one hoplite might be strong enough here to take these villagers out pretty quickly. And maybe the fortress might not even get up, let alone stay up here, as it goes down they go down incredibly fast to a champion hoplite as opposed to other things. The villagers getting pulled here. And Grassengroom's fortress not going to get up here, I wouldn't think. And even if it does, the villagers will tear it back down. But smart move there from Grassengroom, finally making some effort to get in onto that location. But maybe a little bit too overzealous. Could have taken his time here, thrown these walls up here. Towers first, fortress, slowly creep in. Something like that makes a lot more sense here. As Hagrit is still setting up, he's got his fortress and backup Metropolis trying to get built over here. Champion cavalry coming through for Hagrit for whichever reason, if not just for the simple fact that he wants the option to build some prodromus here to raid down the Heliopoli. But now we see the Metropolis coming back onto this position. Still no engineers here for Hagrit, but he does only have the one fortress on the front, so he wants Petropoli right now, not technologies, though he could be researching it as he's at full population. So town center going to be hurting it again. Does it have fortified town? Does it have, sorry, architects? Yes, it does. That's architects and the masons, obviously, which precedes it. You can't get architects without masons. That's just how it goes. As the Silver Colossus wandering in onto this position, we will be seeing Petropolis falling here. Maybe not falling here as the town center is getting closer and closer to getting taken out, but the Heliopoli going to be rolling in here to take down the opposing towers, as he does manage to deal with those fairly nicely. But Hagrit's got the army right now to sort of just get onto these hoplites. His engineers is finally coming through for Hagrit. But his Petropolis will be falling as well. Grassengroom just pulled like 10 villages. Well, he's got no resources. Why does he have no resources? Don't tell me he doesn't have. Why you not get upgrades? You need upgrades. Give yourself shots to win. Maybe flood control is just not that good. Maybe I'm wrong. We can check it after the game and see how much food total the difference between Hagrit and Grassengroom has been. But Grassengroom does manage to hold the town center for a little bit longer, as that engineers that Hagrit initially probably didn't want to research is actually hindering his ability to get siege out here. But to me, it looks like Grassengroom's economy is hurting. And I'm beyond the fact that his villages might be a little bit inefficient right now. I'm not fully certain why that is, because he does have a decent trade route. He's got a bigger trade route than Hagrit right now. His trade route's getting himself 112 gold per trip, which is decent compared to Hagrit's, which is only 98. But Grassengroom is not able to support his units right now, his production. Maybe it's because of all those Heliopoli. Makes a bit of sense here that he's losing those a little bit too easily, not getting the value out of them that he might have once got here. And in that moment, Grassengroom actually decides to tap out. I mean, yes, Hagrit's got some advantages here, but the town center wasn't down, and there's still room to move here. But given the lack of resources right now, Grassengroom does decide to tap out. If we do take a look at the food economy, you can see some big differences in these resources here. And that's a big reason why Hagrit was able to pull ahead here. I wouldn't say, if you do take a look at the villages, the units killed versus lost, though, that definitely does favor Grassengroom. The question, a valid question, is whether or not the actual resources lost, which unfortunately we don't get to see here in the Titans, is comparable or not. But Hagrit does a nice job here. Grassengroom with a big brain kind of distraction action here, targeting this town center down and then just killing the underworld and pulling back. Was enough to grab himself his own town center back here. But after he had it, he just wasn't able to quite make that push through. I think if he had gotten all of his food upgrades and started his trade route, maybe had a better mix of units so that his Heliopoli wouldn't get targeted down so easily, probably could have had a decent shot at winning this game, but didn't quite make it work. Hagrit gets on the board. 1-1 now, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.